Greetings, greetings. This is Revere Sky. So let's talk about it a second. Riddles. What's the benefit of a riddle? I think we're missing the mark, seriously, when it comes down to living in this world, the fabrication and the manifestation of this world, what you materialize. This is a very materialistic world. And a lot of us, a lot of the wise people that want to think, that are curious, they realize that we are under the governed psychoatric level of spells, right? What you say manifests, how you think, speak, your emotions, what levels of emotions and where the thought lies, whether it be your root chakra, your heart, or your psyche. And when it comes down to it, all of these thoughts and all of this psyche can either make you or break you. Your vibration, your rhythm, all lies within your emotions. Does your emotions open up gateways of opportunity, or does your emotions remove you from success or chance? Does it remove you from availability and opportunity? We have to know these things, right? So I'm puzzled by these riddles. Everybody want to decode movies. Everybody want to decode books. Everybody want to decode the Bible. Everything is a riddle. Everything needs to be decoded. Don't allow the common people to have the same knowledge, or else we won't be in power, right? But what if the power is right in front of you in plain sight? What if what you're digging for, you really don't have to decipher or decode or decrypt all of that? What if all the knowledge that our ancestors and the ancients left behind, what if you really don't need that knowledge? What if just by you speaking the English language, you've already put yourself in a toxic cycle to the point where, as much as you think you're going to dig yourself out of the rabbit hole, as much as you think that you're going to manifest that elite power and stuff, it's like a double negative, a double-edged sword. It's just funny, these riddles. Everybody got the riddles. Everybody wants you to decode something. Everybody wants you to understand something. Everybody wants you to see the future of what's going to happen. But is it really necessary? Because when you look at money and you look at currency, what's really going on? What is really going on? Every rich man that can go to sleep at night, every wealthy man that could go to sleep at night and not think about what's going on with the rat race, they all say one thing. They didn't have to use their time to manifest that money. Or they use their time to manifest that money. Now it just automatically come in, right? What if you can unlock the knowledge and the key, and you can notice everything that's going on around you right in front of you, and you don't need the books, you don't need to decipher, you don't need to decode? What if the riddle is just really a dead end? Serious. What if the riddle is a dead end? What if the riddle was designed to distract you and keep you in a perpetual cycle of dismay? What if the riddle was not really actually meant to be solved? All this decoding and all this deciphering. Okay, look at the Bible, for example. It has been translated several times. It's just like people saying, oh, I speak Hebrew, and there's things I cannot exactly explain because there's no understanding in the English language. Same with Latin and everything else. So when you come down to these books and these prophecies and these outlandish books, what's really going on? They're not being straightforward. You got to decode it the way you want to decode it. Either it's going to open up avenues and channels in your brain, either it's going to have you live a certain lifestyle or not. Either it's going to have you to hate it or leave it, right? So, are these riddles really adding up? Who's actually winning from the riddle? Look at the elitists. What's really going on? When you look at the elitists, what's really going on? They're not just breathing the same air. They're not drinking the same water. They're not reading the same information. They're not even tuning into the same information. They're not even tuning into the same frequency. And then if they're not the same beings that we are, they can tune into the same frequency, but it doesn't even bombard their frequency, where they come from. But it bombards us. So the best thing to do is clean the house. Get your environment right first, because you cannot decipher all of this information. You cannot decode all of this information before you get your atmosphere right first. Because if you don't get that atmosphere right first, you're going to have misleading advice from your own psyche and your own conscious and what you call ancestors tapping into your realm. These riddles may not all can be decoded, may not all can be deciphered. The best thing you can do to stay ahead of the game is to keep your atmosphere as natural as possible. You probably can survive longer not knowing how to read and write in this world, not knowing what's good and bad in this world, than you can knowing. Because once you learn certain stuff, it opens up a Pandora box to different avenues that you don't even recognize if you're being under attack or not. Do you know how many millions of people in this world live every day, and they're so fatigued and so tired, they have no clue that, hold on one second. They have no clue that they're at a level of psychological war, psychological oppression, psychological fatigue. We are living in a time where you got to get your atmosphere. People distracted me already. You got to get your atmosphere and your environment right. Because if you don't, and I'm not talking about a brand new house, a brand new car. I'm talking about your energy around you. What are you letting in? What are you sending out? Have you even phoned home yet? Do you know what phoning home is? It's when you sit down and you send out signals to your cosmic light and your cosmic energy. It's when your thoughts are grander than the scheme of things. When your thoughts go beyond the materialistic world. Remember, this is a materialistic world, and you have to manifest materials, not light. Another thing about it is, a lot of people want to grow spiritually and be enlightened, the more enlightened you become, the less dense your food becomes. You know that? I've gone through it. I've gone through the veganism, the fasting, the breatharian for days, and water fasting. And it is phenomenal, but why did I stop? Because when you're on that level, you have to leave this society, because you start picking up frequencies and parallel universes that you cannot handle. And you have to choose then, when you get to those levels, are you going to leave? Are you going to walk away from this material world? And if you walk away, where are you going to go until you finally transcend? It's more, once you get there, it's more shocking than you know. You have to choose and trust what you see, because nobody can see it but you. So that's when you go back down to the denser foods, the poison foods, the foods that do not nourish the body, the temple, or the soul. But when it really gets down to it, are you here to materialize and to comfort the people who created the system that keep you oppressed? Or are you here to ascend? Because you have to choose one or the other. Do you want just a little bit of ascension just to sit on the fence so you can work your magic in both realms? Do you want to go one way in ascension, or do you want to just conquer the material world? Because to conquer this material world, you're gonna eat the God's food. That's what they said in the book of, forget the book, but Enki and Enlil, when he sent the children to visit the God, he said, whatever you do, don't drink or eat nothing. Just say hey and bye. And what are y'all doing right now? You're eating the God's food. These riddles might be perpetual cycles, death and rebirth, and they may not have any good outcome. It may probably just dig you deeper and deeper and deeper in a whole nother direction. So it's just something to think about. These riddles, decoding these 3% books. They're not even 10% books. They're not even 20% books. They're nowhere near the whole story. Like, they have stuff in the museums that they say they won't dare let you get a hold of to. They won't dare let you get all of the book. So that should let you know something. We gotta quit piggybacking off half-ass knowledge. And we need to work on getting our atmosphere and our environment right. Once you get your atmosphere and environment right, you don't need to know 1 + 1 = 2. Because the stuff that's going to go on around you is going to be so phenomenal that no book can decipher what you just saw, what you just perceived, what level you achieved. Get your atmosphere and get your environment right. There we have it. Underneath the magic, the truth will definitely set you free.